So we launched the Abbott beta yesterday, and it turned out we had a couple of dead links on our homepage. To prevent that from happening in the future, we're going to build a skill to check our homepage for 404s, and we'll run that every night. One of the great things about building Abbott is we can use Abbott to run Abbott. So I was getting ready to write this skill, and I figured I would show you what that looks like. I'm here on my iPad. It's kind of a fun way to do it occasionally. We can write our skills on any computing device we want, as long as it's got a browser. Logging in here, this is the homepage that you would see as soon as you logged in if you already had a skill installed. This console will allow you to run everything. It's the same as being in chat with your Abbott. So if your Slack or Discord is down, you can always come to our website and access your bot. I'm not going to do too much with that here because we're really going to be focused on creating that 404 checker skill. So I'm going to go over to skills. I'm going to build this one in Python. For me, that's the easiest way to explore. Our C# experience is probably a little more full-featured. We've got the C# editor's got full IntelliSense, compiler checking, etc. The JavaScript editor's got some autocomplete. Python's pretty basic. It's the editor and a REPL. So I'll show you what that looks like. But for me, this is the fastest way to create things. Cool. So what are we going to build here? We're going to build a thing. We're going to call it the 404 Finder. We can change the name of this later, but I just want to kind of keep track of what we're going to call it. And we'll say check a page for broken links, which is roughly what it is. And we'll say we use it with Abbott 404 Finder and then some URL. And we can always change this stuff later. Now we can start using this right away. I like to save first. I'm going to create skill. And the reason for that is it's going to kind of tee up everything else that I can attach here. So if I wanted to use a secret, for example, I could do that here. Secrets are a way for us to, or a way for you to hide, API keys and things like that. We won't need that here, but it's always kind of handy to have that. The other thing I like to do as I get started is just test to make sure that everything is wired up and working. So we can see hello test. Great, everything is here and working. Awesome. So what do we want to do? We want to, we're going to say check a page to make sure all the links resolve. So that's pretty straightforward. To do that, let me think what we need to do here. So we'll create a function. We'll call it check page. And we're going to check a URL for broken links. So we'll just say check a page for broken links. I'm sorry about my typing on this tiny little iPad keyboard. It is kind of the downside. As fun as it is to do it this way, my typing definitely takes a hit. Anyways, what do we need to do this? Well, we load requests up. And so we provide some imports for you. It's a fairly small list right now. We've tried to really think about the things that you need to build these skills. I would say if you're building a skill with Abbott and you find that you've got a package that you really need, please just let us know if we aren't loading it already and we'll take a look. For now, we're just trying to start small and then figure out what dependencies we need. For now, we know request is something that almost everybody will need in Python land. So what do we need to do? We need to do get the page, request.get URL. Now, we could just look if we were, if we just wanted to kind of explore around, we could say, well, what does R actually look like? And so what it's going to do is I'm going to run this really quickly, and I'll run it with our website. That's seriousnbusiness.com. That's our jam. Oh, I forgot to call the function. Let's try this again. Check page, and then we call it bot.arguments. We'll just expect that it's a URL for this. Let me try this again. Now, you don't need to save every time. I save a lot just out of habit. But you can do it either way. So we're going to run this. We see all the things that are available with requests. Now, if you've used requests before, this is all going to be pretty straightforward. So I'm just going to kind of jump ahead a little bit and just kind of get some things working to see what happens. Just because I know we might not get a real URL. I want to make sure that we throw an error if that happens. And then what needs to happen is we need to go through, and once we get this, we need to check the content for any links and check the links to make sure they resolve. Cool. So to do that, we also load up Beautiful Soup. Gosh, I always forget how to do this one. So from PS4 import Beautiful Soup. And we basically want to look through the content that we get back and get any links out of that content in order to test it. So we'll just new this up, beautiful soup, our text, and we want to use the HTML parser. Pretty cool. And then let's see, we want to get all of our links. So links, our soup, find all. We want to get all the A tags. We want to only get the ones that have an href. Right? We don't want to get any anchor tags or anything like that. And then for link and links, we're going to make a function called check URL link, and then we just want to get the href. Right? Cool. So we'll make another little function called check link. Oops. Def check link URL, and then we'll say check a link to make sure it resolves. At least I'm consistent with my poor casing. For now, we're just going to do the link. We just want to make sure that we're getting the things that we expect. And I'm just going to clean up a few things here. I don't want this anymore. And we don't need this comment just yet. So now I'm just going to, again, hit the up arrow on my console. So check URL is not defined. Let's see, check URL. Oh, I called it a different name. So it's actually check link. And this is I think, probably the downside of writing skills on a Friday night. Cool. So we do see that there's some links here. We'll go through and kind of test as we go, but it seems like we're getting the things that we want. Great. So now what do we actually want to do? We want to say R is equal to request. We probably want the head. Like I don't think we really want to get the whole body. And then we're going to do it a little bit differently this time. Instead of raising for status, we actually are going to check to see if it's okay, because we are expecting the failure mode and we don't want to deal with the exception. So let's say if r.status code isn't equal to the OK status codes. It's not equal to request.codes.OK. Then we'll say reply. Let's do a little emoji warning. The link return status, and then we'll list the status. And maybe exclamation point, like extra scary. Cool. Let's just get the right data in there. Format, our URL. Okay, so I think this should work, but let's go ahead and run it really quickly. We may not actually see anything. Up arrow, nose connection. Oh, I see. So one of these links is a mail to, so we just need to ignore that really quickly. So let me ignore that. In fact, we don't need to do any of this stuff. So if URL starts with mail to, return. Let's try this again. Okay, so one more time. Okay. So it looks like it worked. Our hello here, I'm going to take that out before I forget because I don't really care about this. So hello, here's our link and the warning, twitter.com/biz returns status 400. Okay, so I think I understand what happened here. So Twitter, I think I dealt with this the other day. Twitter, I think will complain if the user agent, if it thinks it's something, it's a scraper. So we'll just fake up a user agent here. So headers equals user agent. I need to find the Chrome user agent. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Let's see, Chrome user agent string. I think I saw Mozilla had a nice one. Here we go. Chrome UA string, Opera, Safari. Give me Chrome. Oh, here it is. All right, so I'm just going to steal this. Copy this with the magic of iOS copy and paste. And I'm going to try this one more time and see if that fixes it for us. Okay, cool. So no errors, which means everything works. Now, you know, we probably should, I think we probably should say something if everything works. So I'll just say like, we'll just do this for now. I just want to make sure that everything's kosher for right now. Else, not reply, worked great. And then I'm just going to say format. I just want to make sure that things are still working. So I'm going to save just out of caution. And Here we go. Okay, great. So we see that all of our links are actually correct, which is pretty good. I think that is doing what we expect. So I'm going to go ahead and clean some of this stuff up. Now, oh, actually, I'm going to leave that because I want to show this from Slack. Cool. So some really cool things that we get here. Here's our skill, 25 lines, it's a 404 checker, everything's great. I'm going to jump over to Slack. I'm going to run that exact skill. So add it, 404 checker. A seriousbusiness.com. Whoops. Oh gosh, that autocorrect sure is a thing. Okay, here we go. We're going to check it. The exact same skill that we ran before. Oh, we don't have it yet. Let me see what's going on here. Abbott list 404. I might have named it something different. What did I call this thing? 404 Finder. Oh my goodness. All right. Abbott 404 Finder. GPS, a seriousbusiness.com. I don't really care about the unfurl. Great. So now it's going through and it's reading all those links. You can see like Slack is rendering things very crazily for us, which is fine. Now, we probably want this to happen more frequently than, or we want this to happen on its own rather. Like I don't want to have to run this. I don't want to have to remember. So we have this really amazing feature called triggers. So we're going to schedule this skill to run nightly. So I'm just going to say Abbott schedule. This is a secret word for, or magic word for scheduling our skills, 404 Finder. There's two types of triggers that we have. One is called an attach trigger, and one is called a schedule trigger. The attach trigger will allow this to respond to webhooks. So if you imagine you wanted this to fire off after a deployment occurred, you could do that automatically, or you could do it this way, which is to schedule it. So I'm going to click the link that it shared with us. I need to log in. Because I'm inside of Slack. This is maybe an iOS funkiness. Oh no, here, I'm just going to go back the other way. I should have thought about that before doing this on my iPad. That's okay. Pretty easy. If I reload the page here on my skill, I'll see that I've got this trigger now. And so I can just jump in and edit the trigger. So the general room receives replies when 404 Finder is triggered on the schedule. No schedule yet, so I'm going to edit the schedule. We have lots of options. You know, we can say every 10 minutes, hour, day, week, whatever. We can define our own cron schedule if we want. So I'm just going to say every day at midnight UTC, which is fine. And I'm going to, in this case, pass in the argument that I would have expected to pass. So it's the website, right? A serious business, .com. And then we'll say, check our homepage for 404s every day. And now what will happen is this will go through, and in fact, I'm going to change this to every 5 minutes, or every 10 minutes, I guess, every 10 minutes. And we'll unfortunately, we're not going to see this one, but that's fine. So what will happen is every 10 minutes this is going to go through and run that skill with that link, and it will show anything that happens into Slack for us, which is pretty cool. Now, if I wanted to publish this and share it with somebody else, in fact, I'll do this from our production. You can publish a package. So I'll show you that really quickly. It's extremely simple. I just go back to the skill editor. I can hit this publish package link, and this will allow me to publish this so anybody can use this 404 Finder skill. That's pretty much it for now. I hope this was informative for you. Please log in, have fun, play with Abbott. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.